Welcome to Maple Leaf Farm's Virtual Ag Day. During our presentation, you'll learn a lot about duck production and a little bit about our family-owned company, which started near Milford, Indiana, more than 60 years ago. Before I get started, I have a question for you though. Why do you think I'd need to wear this goofy-looking outfit if I was going to visit one of our duck farms? To keep me clean? No. To protect me from the ducks? No, it's actually to protect the health of our birds. If I was to take your class out to visit one of our duck farms, I'd want to make sure that you hadn't been around hogs or other poultry for 3 days. And then I'd make sure that you had clean clothes and clean shoes on. And when you got to the farm, I'd make you wear an outfit like this. Walk through a boot pan, use hand sanitizer, and this would all be to protect our birds from any germs or diseases that you could carry into the barn. We like to give this a fancy term called biosecurity, but all biosecurity really is disease prevention, and Maple Leaf Farms takes a lot of steps every day to protect the health of our birds, including making visitors to our farms wear goofy-looking outfits like this. Now, a female duck is called a hen, just like a female chicken is called a hen. And a duck hen can lay about 200 eggs in one school year, which is about 1 per day, but not quite. And the hens typically lay their eggs in nest boxes that are in the barn early in the morning, before you'd even get up for school. Our farm families will go into their barns each morning and pick up the eggs. Once they've gathered all the eggs, they clean and sort them before placing them into trays and onto carts so they can be transported to one of our hatcheries to be incubated. Now, you may be asking yourself, why don't we leave the eggs for the hens to sit on and hatch out? Well, the truth is that white pekin ducks aren't very broody. In other words, they usually don't want to lay on their eggs to incubate them. In fact, if our farmers didn't pick up the eggs, the birds would likely break them and eat them. So it's important that our farmers pick them up in a timely manner each morning. Once the eggs arrive at a hatchery, they go through an egg wash that cleans and sanitizes the eggs, kills any germs that may be on it. The eggs are also inspected, and any egg that is found to have a crack or a chip or other imperfection is pulled out because we know it can't produce a healthy duck. The eggs are then placed into an egg cooler that is around 60 degrees. This slows the development of the embryos so that we can store them for a few days before we have to incubate them. While they're in the egg cooler, the eggs are sprayed with hydrogen peroxide to sanitize the eggs once again, and also to break down the outermost layer of the eggshell called the cuticle, so that the eggs can have better air exchange in the incubators. Now, the eggshell has thousands of tiny holes called pores in the eggshell that oxygen and carbon dioxide pass through as the embryo develops. When we're ready to put the eggs into the incubator, we have these large carts that go into the incubators. There are 4 important factors to incubation that we use computerized equipment to control. The first is temperature. It's very warm in the incubators, about 99 degrees. The second is humidity. It's about 90% humidity in there. The third is ventilation. It's important that we bring in oxygen and eliminate carbon dioxide. The final factor is rotation. The equipment will automatically turn the eggs every hour. This mimics how mother birds in the wild will turn their eggs to prevent the embryo from sticking to a membrane that's on the inside of the eggshell. The eggs are in the incubator for about 14 days when we bring them out briefly for a process called candling. With candling, we take the trays of eggs over a light table and pull out the infertile eggs that do not have an embryo growing in them. These eggs appear more translucent or yellow, which is the light shining through the yolk. The fertile eggs, or eggs with ducks growing in them, appear dark because the embryo blocks the light. These eggs are put back into incubators so the embryos can continue developing. After the eggs have been in the incubator for 24 days, they are moved from the trays into baskets and placed on equipment called hatchers, where they have the right environment and space to hatch out by day 28. This is different than chickens, which take 21 days to hatch. As you can see from this embryo development poster, the ducks grow very quickly inside the egg. They start out as a cluster of blood vessels, and then I don't know about you, but I kind of think they look like an alien for a while, until finally they look like a duck and hatch out by day 28. The same day the ducks hatch out, they are transported to a farm that has been prepared for them by being cleaned from top to bottom, heated so that the ducks stay warm, and stocked with fresh feed. They grow from being something small enough that I could fit them in the palm of my hand, a little less than 2 ounces, to about 6.5 pounds in a little over 1 month. They grow the quickest in their first week on the farm, quintupling in size. That means they grow 5 times their size. So what do you think we have to provide them in order for them to grow so well? What does your family provide you? Nutritious food, a good environment, and plenty of clean water. We feed our ducks a pelleted feed made up of corn, which is a great source of energy, soybean meal, which is a source of protein, and different vitamins and minerals they need, like ground limestone, which is a good source of calcium. We make the feed at our feed mill, where large batches of these ingredients are mixed together to make a pelleted feed. We have small pellets for the young ducks and larger pellets for the older birds. We pellet the feed because ducks don't have a curved beak like other birds. Instead, they have a flat bill that they kind of use like a shovel, so pelleted feed is easier for them to eat. Maple Leaf Farms raises our birds for meat. People enjoy eating duck, and before you scrunch up your nose and think, man, that's weird to eat duck, keep in mind that in many countries of the world, people eat duck as often as you or I eat pork or beef or chicken. And here in the United States, people enjoy eating duck too, okay? They often have it for special occasions like Thanksgiving or Easter, or when they eat at a nice restaurant, but you can fix it at home too. My family loves eating duck bacon, duck quesadillas, barbecue duck sandwiches, duck breast, all sorts of duck dishes. Now, besides meat, what else could we get from our ducks that we could sell? If you're guessing eggs, guess again. We don't produce duck eggs for consumers to eat. We leave that to the chicken folks. But what about the feathers? Feathers are an important byproduct for Maple Leaf Farms, which means we don't raise or process our ducks for the feathers, but they're a secondary product that we can sell. There are different types of feathers that have different values. The coarse contour feathers, also known as flight feathers, don't have much value. Smaller contour feathers can be used to give bedding more support. Semi-plume feathers are in between contour and down feathers and can be used in down products. But the most highly valued feathers are the down feathers, which are used in things like jackets and bedding, like comforters and pillows. I know you might have a lot of questions right now, and I'm going to answer the 5 most common questions I get at Ag Day each year. Number 1, how can you tell the difference between the hens and the drakes, which is what we call the male ducks? There are different ways you can tell them apart, but the easiest is to listen to them. Hens have a loud, audible quack. Drakes don't. The sound they make is softer and more whispery. Let's take a listen. This is a hen. Now let's listen to a drake. Hear the difference? Number 2, why don't your white pekin ducks fly? Do you clip their wings? Even though pekin ducks descend from the mallard like most other domesticated or farm duck breeds, white pekin ducks cannot fly. We don't clip their wings. They are simply too heavy to fly. Number 3, why do you raise your ducks in barns? Since white pekin ducks cannot fly, they are very susceptible to predators like hawks and raccoons and coyotes when grown outdoors. And can you imagine finding our ducks when it's snowy outside? Joking aside, it is safer and healthier for the birds to be raised in clean barns that protect them from predators, weather extremes, and diseases that wild birds, rodents, and other animals can carry. Number 4, what do you do with duck eggs? People can actually eat duck eggs, but we produce eggs to produce more ducks, not for people to eat. So the eggs that are infertile or don't hatch are only used for industrial purposes. Number 5, is duckling healthy? Not only is duck delicious, it's very healthy. A boneless, skinless duck breast is actually leaner and has fewer calories than a boneless, skinless chicken breast. And duck fat is a healthy kind of fat, kind of like olive oil, so it's great to cook and bake with. Vegetables, French fries, popcorn made with duck fat is all very delicious. Thank you for joining us for our virtual Ag Day. It's exciting to teach you more about Maple Leaf Farms and duck production. Indiana ranks number 1 in duck production, so it's always a lot of fun to teach students about this unique industry.